I always wanted to be an architect. It was sort of a vision that I had in my head as a kid. My parents designed and built their house, and I was climbing on scaffolding when I was 3. So I sort of felt at home with buildings and construction. But you know, the artist in me wanted to be able to create art and combine the science and the math and all of that. And I thought, you know, being an architect, you could make your buildings as art, and you can even get on The Simpsons, and it would be an amazing career. And so I sort of thought architecture was like a little canvas building you could make. It would be an island. You can be the, you know, the Howard Rourke, and you can make your statement to society, and it's only on its own. And I sort of kept that point of view, you know, going into first year of architecture, and then I was at Rural Studio, and all of that kind of changed. I started to realize how architecture can fit into a community, and I was around some people that have a completely different economic society that I've ever been around before, and these people changed my life. I was immersed in how a design can be artistic and really touch a community. And I saw the changes, and I saw the changes in where people lived and where their children were spending their time. And I saw families shifting. Instead of everyone was going to go work at the chicken plant, they wanted to be architects, surprise, doctors, vets. And then I spent a lot of time here, and it was away from community except for my architecture community. And while it pushed me to develop, you know, a craft and design, and I got to the real world and I did these. And these, and reflected ceiling plans, and door details, and this was nothing like my architecture I wanted. We've all been there. We've all experienced it. And, you know, if you haven't, you're one of the awesome people that could bypass this, but there's got to be more to architecture than this. And, you know, eventually I was just, how do I get to that creative point? And I started into project management, and it sort of started to change, and I started to see a little bit of opportunity to design and have that artist life back. And then I had a baby, and that completely changed my concept of architecture. Again, I focused on my child, and I started thinking about the kind of world that I wanted her to live in, and how something that I was really passionate about could affect that. And I pretty much came to the conclusion that architecture should change the world. And I went back to work in September of '08, and womp, womp, womp. We all know. It was a pretty tough year. But in my first few months back, I had stayed out of work for 2.5 years, and in my first few months back, I was nominated to the ELA, which was its first year, and that's what started getting me involved with volunteerism, and I became a member of the AIA. And I started volunteering. I started working at Hampton University through the AIA, not at there, but university relations, and I started doing PKNs, and this is where Dale and I met. And I became the chair for the Architecture Week, and I produced all these events, but I started reaching out to the community and trying to bring people in, and we did historic walking tours of Norfolk, and we did PechaKuchas where we brought the community members in easily. And I started getting involved with another group that I met through that relationship, the Revision Norfolk group. And what we did is we were a group of civically minded, creative professionals that created a concept group to give our opinions to the city, to push Norfolk to do something better. That was our Amtrak station, the original design. We saw it. It was terrible. We actually wrote a letter to the city, and we were able to influence the design to something that we feel is much more progressive for the future of Norfolk. And, you know, we were able to build a relationship with the city. There were people from 4 different architecture groups working on this together. This is an empty lot that was in Norfolk for many years, and a project died in the economy. And we got together, and there was an architecture of record, WPA in Norfolk, and they did wonderful work, but it was mostly volunteers to even help craft the design of this and the installation of a urban park. And we started working on, through Revision, a lot of different projects like food trucks coming to downtown Norfolk and the Norfolk Arts District. And through those relationships and the volunteer hours that I put in, they're immense, I was able to build these relationships with people that are going to work towards making a more progressive Norfolk. And I was able to do a couple of art installations through the volunteerism that I had. And I really tried to make those relationships that helped me do things that made a difference. And I was able, through my volunteerism, to get together with groups of people. This is a project that was in Norfolk called Better Block. It's a BetterBlock.org is a group of people from Texas that are helping cities look at blocks that are inactive and basically dead, and we're starting to revitalize them through community interaction and bringing the community out and helping them tell the city what they want their communities to be like. And we were able to take that desolate block and turn it into hundreds of volunteers, a 2-day event. We were able to turn it into that. And we had pop-up shops and all sorts of great things. But it is about people with creative efforts coming together and helping these cities and help them make better decisions, because you are a citizen of that city and you have amazing skills that you can do something with. And if more of us was out working to improve our cities on a volunteerism basis, I think we'd do a lot better. Thank you.